So this is episode 6 of Christopher Reads the Help Files. In this one, it's getting started, labels and tables workflows. You can use the workflow topics as a reference for the proposed process of working with labels and tables. So the first topic is to set up label settings and styles. Specify settings for labels at various levels in the hierarchical settings tree. In addition, you define specific settings for individual labels in the label styles, which manage label content. The highest levels of settings can serve as a general prototype model for settings that are lower in the hierarchy. Those settings, if not locked at the drawing level, can be overridden in subordinate settings. Define default settings for all labels in a drawing. Right-click on the drawing name in the settings tree and click Edit Label Style Defaults. Define default settings for all labels belonging to a feature. Right-click the feature name in the settings tree and click Edit Label Style Defaults. Define default settings for a specific label style type in a feature. Right-click the label style type name and click Edit Label Style Defaults. Define a label style. Define the settings for a new label style. Manage label style properties. Define label style layer, visibility, display mode, and text style. I guess that's all true. Workflow to insert and manage labels. Follow the steps as a guide to efficiently insert and manage labels. Yeah, right. Let's see, this is not helpful. Civil 3D cannot efficiently insert labels. They require lots of extra work that is not necessary if Civil 3D was truly efficient. For instance, placing a label and then dragging it takes 2 steps or more when an M leader takes 2 clicks, which is way more efficient, right? Because you really want that for a lot of these labels. You want to be able to pick a point and then for where it's going to label and then pick where your label is going to be. So kind of like in an M leader state. And Civil 3D doesn't really allow you to do that. If you open up the Quix tools, it has a tool to allow you to place labels as if they were M leaders. So you pick one point and then move it. And then there's the whole right, left, and up, down issue as well. And that's where you have to have multiple label sets if you want a particular look. So if you want the line underneath the information on the right side and maybe on the bottom line for the left, which some CAD standards have, you have to have a right version and a left version, and the same thing goes for up and down. So you end up with having like 4 label styles for one point, where really an efficient program would have you at least combine the right and the left and allow you to have that M leader effect you have in AutoCAD. So Civil 3D is not efficient at all, and they really should remove this wording because it is really just false advertisement. It's not efficient at all. People spend hours labeling and just for stupid stuff like this. Modify labels in a drawing. You can modify label object properties by right-clicking a label and selecting label properties or properties to open the AutoCAD properties palette. Add content to labels. You can use the layout tab of the layout style composer to define label components, which will define the content of labels. Add expressions. Set up mathematical expressions to use in label styles. Manage layout properties. Use the Layout tab of the Label Style Composer dialog box to control text and border settings. Display properties and content. Manage dragged properties. use the drag state tab of the Label Style Composer dialog box to define leader visibility and properties for dragged label text. Set up labels to be used as tags. If a label style supports the use of tags in tables, there are a few unique properties that you can manage in the style by changing settings in the Label Style Composer. And then the last one is to insert and manage tables. Follow these steps as a guide to efficiently insert and manage tables. It sure would be nice if it was efficient, because you have to, sometimes if you want to have it fit on the page, you have to explode the table, move the padding to be smaller so you can fit on it on the page, where Civil 3D has an obscene amount of padding and there's no way to change it. So it's kind of like not efficient at all. So set up table styles. Table styles define which data is displayed in the table and control the table appearance. So they're missing an S here, I believe. Add tables to a drawing. Specify table data differently for each object type. Add surface legend tables. Surface tables are created in the legend style and do not use label styles or tags. Modify tables. You can modify the appearance of a table or add or remove data. I guess that's true. And so this has been episode 6 of Labels and Tables Workflow of Getting Started.